in indecision and unable to make a move. We're just doing something. I don't know what it is. We're doing something. This is 999 show. Kind of peters out. Just some brown colors. Brown, brown, brown. Flush it on down. Using golden acrylics here. I probably should just use the Amsterdam paints for this. But, something. Mm. Kind of loosely thinking about the Hanged Man. I like this texturally, actually. Using it's kind of like an old root, kind of snaking its way down. It's just a quiet day. Quiet day today. Really kind of low E. It's just a low E kind of day. I don't know what we're doing. I'm just doing something. I started doing something earlier, but I got froze. I froze on the screen. You know, and I was trying to do a sketch live, and I'm not really. My sketching work is kind of like roots. Roots growing. Growing into a world. Hanging down in. Started to use my nib pen, but I couldn't get the nib pen to work. I guess I just started using nib pens, but when you do something new, it's actually kind of difficult. But what we're doing here mostly is stream of consciousness. And sometimes when you don't know what you're going to do, it is best to do this very thing. I like how this color is like smoky in there. This is a thin down bone black and thin down to the consistency of ink. And we're going to just roll it in here, give it some outline, some complexity. I'm going to put another color in here. I wasn't quite sure what I was going to do. Maybe let's see how these colors are. See if they're still viable. Maybe I think they're still viable. Mix it with water. That is a quinacridone magenta. Yeah, we can do that. My first one, I was gonna do a hermit card, and I got bound up. I froze. I froze for like 4 minutes, and then I just turned the stream off um, and deleted the upload, and then now I just started a new one here. And that's kind of what I did. I never really actually. I don't know that I really have froze on it. I'm just gonna do some colors like this. I know I want the background to be electric. That's all I know. Kind of got just and I probably will do. Maybe what we'll do is we'll do half tonight and the rest of it tomorrow night. And let's go on for like an hour and then see how much I can get done in that hour. I like this transparent black because it's just kind of blending in. It's making these other colors sort of, yeah. It's just roots, creature. If you kind of think about it, I read an article where they that plants make noises. I've always been kind of defining plants as kind of being more more sentient. More sentient. Yeah, that's the word for it. More sentient. And sometimes, if you just don't really think about things too much, it actually can be a little bit easier to do this. Let's just take some of the bright yellow a little bit. We're going to mix it in here. And it'll just sort of mix down. There we go. I like this. Painting but it's a hanging flower. It's hanging down. And maybe these darker colors. Kind of like a crucified flower or something. Kind of around there. Something, I don't know. Different things hanging. I got one yellow. I think I'm gonna. Yeah, I don't know. I really just don't know anymore. I'm at a complete loss. A complete loss right now. Lost in the moment. In times like these, it's sometimes just best not to not to think about things too much. Thinking of the roots coming down and snaking into the reality, different realities overlapping and coming together. Yellows. Painting upside down is actually, it helps to give you a different perspective on life. You know, we want to do things a certain way, but sometimes I think that green is a goner. Is this green a goner here? It might be a little bit of green in here. It's, yeah, it's not really upside down. I'm actually painting an abstract hanged man. This is what I'm painting, but in a different form. Tarot art. But I'm going to, instead of it being hanging on a tree, it is the tree itself that's hanging down, growing upside down. That's kind of what I'm doing. And let's put this a little closer in. A little bit. I like it texturally. Well, it kind of means, in this form, it means enlightenment. And so maybe it means that your enlightenment is blocked, or you're just sort of hanging there, suspended in space. So you might as well, just go with the flow in the river. I think it means, just depends. I think it depends on where you are in life, what it means. You get the textbook meanings, and then you can go from there. Yeah, I've been journeying with the tarot for a couple years. It's essentially what it means in this. It's looking at things from a new perspective. In reversed, you would kind of say it's like you're not looking at it from a new perspective. You're not doing anything new. Yeah. Yeah, kind of. Yeah, it's more of a. I kind of wanted to combine things. I was trying to do a very similar thing like this with the Hermit card, but I was too rushed getting into doing this, and anyways, I think we'll do stagnation. Yes, that's probably be about right. What does it mean reversed? It probably just means stagnation or something like that. Let's see if we put in a landscape or something this guy's just hanging into. I'm gonna just do it in yellow. I'm gonna make it look like it's um, kind of coming down. I am using the brand I'm using. This is the brand I'm using. Um, and so these are all golden paints with the exception of this one. This one is Liquitex. This is a Liquitex quinacridone magenta. This is a Zilron crimson. This is just a standard red. This is a fluorescent red. That's a phthalo green, primary yellow. This over here is a fluid acrylics burnt umber. This is yellow ochre. This here is a magnesium hue blue. And this here is a fluorescent blue. And this is titanium white. And this is bone black thin down. And this over here is just some glazing fluid. I was just going to put in some other, put in another sort of a color in there. I guess we're putting red in here now. And, but yeah. Acrylic markers. Yeah, you can only buy so much stuff. Eventually, I have a lot of paint, and then I ventured into watercolor earlier this year, and so it's maybe we'll come and bring it down so it looks like we got some steep hills coming here, and so. Let's get this thinned down so I can move it a little bit further along. But I think I want to put a tower in. Yeah, it does make it look that way. And that's fine, but it kind of goes in with the rest of the theme of what we got. This looks like it's all dried up too, so. And let's just see if I can do it. If I can do this, use this dip pen and put like a castle or something in the distance. Well, let's see. I'll use this blue here. Yeah, Mr. Billy, no neck. It's like you really can only do so much, in your life. You can only do so much because it's like I have a lot of money invested in our acrylic paints, and then I have I have watercolors too, and I'm gonna probably combine some water. And then I got like colored pencils, and let's see, we're gonna do a tower in the background, and looks like this is probably not the right. All right, well, let's see here. Maybe it's just a bigger building here. It's not so straight. And then, all right. Maybe this is not such a great idea. Oh, wait, but you know what? It is an abstract. Oh, okay, Billy. People call me Billy all the time. You use that username after character. I see. Well, I know that Billy can go either way. And where's the sun at? Where am I putting the sun at? If the sun was behind me, where would the shadow? Well, let's just see. Maybe we'll. This is not working. I don't know how to use these pins. I think sometimes you buy things and you try to figure things out on the fly, and maybe it's not such a great idea to try to figure things out on the fly. I'm going to make a blue building in the background, and I can make straighter lines with brushes and with pencils, but so it's got this building in the background. Blue, that's fine. I like a blue. we are, if we're in like Iceland or someplace like that, you could have a blue building. And okay, I just don't. Yeah, you know what? This is very. It's it's coming into this realm of being very kindergartenish, and that's all right. You know what? That's okay. Sometimes things are kind of kindergartenish, and let's just make it a solid blue building. It's off in the background. Maybe it's just a little outhouse. Maybe I shouldn't have put this in here at all. Sometimes I feel that way. Perspective wise, that it's a long ways away, but maybe it needs to be taller. Probably needs to be taller. Maybe it's a part of a castle. An older building a little further. Oh, this is in the foreground and this is in the background. I don't know. Yeah, this is my foreground thing. So you're looking at like a different, because I was kind of thinking like like one of those sci-fi worlds where you have a bunch of windows there. Yeah, maybe it's a little darker on this side. Another little tower clear out there. Maybe this will be a little red building. Yellow. Yeah, it's going to be a yellow building. It'll turn up green in the end. We're in imagination land. We can do whatever we want to do. That's correct. Let's see how to make it more 3D looking. Got the shadow over here. It's got the sunlight glinting off of it. A little bit darker over here. There we go. There we go. There we go. Can make it, salvage it. Mm-hmm. Okay, that paint's in there really thick. So it looks like we're using our acrylics like watercolors. And let's just take this and make ground and get it to look like it's a sloping hill or something. Part of the old flat earth. Yeah. So on my channel, I do a lot of different things. Sometimes I try to have guests on. I can't always get it. Can't always get guests to come. You know, people's schedules don't always match up quite right. And I want to do what? This is just glazing fluid. We can use it for whatever I want to, right? And come in here with the yellow. There we are. I'm always looking for people to come on my show. Let's put some blue in here, like maybe some water. It's just a background. I think probably the wisest thing to do with this painting is I'll do a start here, do a start, and then come back in on a second day and finish it, which I'll probably do that, which would be like tomorrow night. Because it looks really, at this point in time, it's got to be, I'm going to have to really make it into something, I'm going to need to do a lot more crafting, and which I can do. Sometimes when, you know, you don't have a real clear-cut plan, which I didn't have a clear-cut plan when I came in tonight. My mind was thinking in just 2 or 3 different things at the same time, and I'm going to make this look more like land. Just going to get that to blend in a little bit darker. And maybe we want to make some shadows going up that way. Okay, so the sun's in this coming up that direction, so everything is lighter on this side. All right. You know what would be also kind of cool is if I had a UFO in the background, the flying saucer just kind of swooping in. I think they'll do that, but not tonight. I'm just gonna paint for like another 10 or 15 minutes here, and then I'm gonna get off the stream, and then we'll finish this tomorrow night. And I've had some time to like look at it. Maybe I'll do a different video altogether. I do have some other video work to do for my other channel, and then another okay, there we go. We got some light places and dark places. And there's some shadowy things. Yeah. Come in with the green. Poke around on that green and see if we can get that green to work. And put it on the hillside over here. Over here makes it a little darker in there. Just kind of a shadowy thing. The secret is to not panic, right? Go back on to the lighten the colors down. A little more yellow on that side. Has that enlightenment kind of a look. I guess I need to make it darker on this side. Yeah, and because the sun is coming down from that direction. Yeah, okay, that's what we do. Get it to look like actually wood, sort of more wooden. Yeah, this actually works too. Put a little bit of that darker shading on that side. And think that the light's on the other side. Maybe a little more of the Zoran Crimson. I put it in here. We only do so many layers of this stuff before I have to let it dry. It hasn't quite come to the state where it's going to turn into mud, but it's getting close. Darker on this side. Yeah, I had to do something different, Ramon. I started that other live and I froze. I froze and I couldn't figure out. So I kind of changed around here. Changed some orientations. Make it a little redder on this side and lighter on the other. Yeah. Well, I'm looking for more backgrounds for back here, for my tarot backgrounds, so that when I do videos for Tools of Fortune, I have my tarot energies and so forth. And I'm often kind of thinking about plant life as having more more agency, I guess. Maybe that's what I'm looking at. That plants have, they're not just things that, that they are also creatures that have agency in the world. And though we don't understand that, and we can, with observation, we can figure out what our animals are, we can figure out how animals are communicating, but with the plants, it's a little bit more difficult, and because I read an article about that they have, I think that the plants make sounds like clicking noises or really high pitched. The frequency that they talk at is really it's a really high frequency. And so, like you were on your conversation with Elizabeth and you're talking about frequencies and everything. I think I'm gonna kind of talk a little bit about that on my Prophets of Tomorrow, my after church chat on Sunday, because I was like thinking of Star Trek, and I hadn't watched Star Trek for a while, and damn, the tears just come up in my eyes when I see that Star Trek on a bigger screen, or like the big screen, in the living room, and looking at the Enterprise. And it took me a while to like the reset, the reset but kind of like the first time I saw Spider-Man in the first Spider-Man movie that ever came out, and when the web slinging was happening, I just was like almost like I was gonna bawl or something like that. I was just fighting back the tears because it was just like, oh, that's how I imagined it from the comic book, you know, and that's how I imagined it. Put some more light in it over here. I do imagine the background here as being really an electric, more of like an electric blue. And I don't think I'm going to do the background tonight, though. But yeah, I kind of want to talk about on this channel a little bit about science fiction prophecies. We think of that science fiction as a prophetic tool. When you think of how much of Star Trek has come true, how much of, you know, not Star Wars so much. Star Wars is not really science fiction. Star Wars is a totally different animal altogether. Just because it's got spaceships doesn't mean it's science fiction. And you put it in here like it looks a little darker, shaded this way, and then more light on the other side. But yeah. So all these narratives out there, all the doom and the gloom, but and people misuse that word apocalypse, and it bugs the shit out of me. I'm sorry about the language, but it really bugs me because people use that word for meaning like the end of the world, because it's the end of a world and it's a birth of a new world. If you really look at the book of Revelations, that's what's there. There's this, it's a birthing of a new world of a new world. And granted, there's all this destruction and stuff in it, but I don't know. It was never one that was all that big on that book anyway. I wasn't all that big on the book of Revelations anyway. Usually just completely ignored it because I figured it belonged to a different time. It belonged to a different space. It meant something different than we thought it meant. Put the light in on this side because the sun's on that side. Just put the light in on here, and then we have it. It makes those colors lightened up, and I wonder. Well, I wonder though. I wonder if I should start putting. Maybe I shouldn't put a background in at all. I don't know. I might kind of destroy the thing if I put a background in. Maybe, is this stuff dry enough that I can... Maybe it is. Well, you know what? We can try a background. You know, it is just a practice painting. I can always try, if I completely ruin it, I can try it again. And I'm at 40 minutes. That means it's like 10 o'clock at night, I think. Oh, I got 6 likes. Okay, let's go try a background. I think I'm gonna go and switch over to watercolors. So let's move these things out of here. I guess we're not going to use them. And put them over there. Put them down here. The fluid art acrylics, I'm not going to use them now. I think we'll probably, I think this is going to become a 2-day painting. And yeah, a 2-day painting. And if I got the time, I have my volunteer job tomorrow. So we're going to go in and come in with a different brush. And I'm going to think about, okay, let's just use this brush. We'll use my watercolor brush here. Well, we're going to be doing watercolors, why not? And I'm going to come in, we're going to use this blue. I want it to be kind of more electric in the blue, in its blueness department, and we'll do a thin layer of blue. And we can come back over this later. And so this is a Van Gogh pocket box. And so I'm going to just be very gingerly kind of coming in here. I think this will work. Yeah. Put a lot of water on here. Yeah, this will work, I believe. Now, actually, it's kind of interesting how the water is pooling up, because this is not really this is actually a heavyweight, a mixed media drawing paper that I'm using. And well, I'm liking. Maybe it's just a 1-day painting. Kind of bring it down, bring the colors down. I want the kind of this almost feels like how I had a migraine the other day where actually it lasted 2 days. I had a 2-day migraine. And I felt like like a piece of wood was on my head, pushing down on everything. Look how how the pigments and everything is just sort of pooling up on the surface. I'm got vertigo too. Let's go with this other blue. This is a ultramarine blue. And we're going to mix that in here. Bring it on down. So these blue buildings towards the ground. I have more of this ultramarine color. I'm gonna reuse that thumbnail that I for tomorrow night. Yeah, I don't know. We'll use that. We'll use that one. Sometimes I just don't know what to paint. We'll make the gonna sit in the background back here. Maybe we'll take a little of this this Payne's Gray, and kind of mix it down in here. More of a bit of an oppressiveness. But you can see here how we're doing this background like this, and a little bit darker on that side. Now we get this thing to stand out against the foreground. Kind of mixing it in. This is a little bit darker of a blue. Maybe it's like a big rain color. I'm just like the energy of this, of it just coming straight down. It's sort of a different perspective, coming down, hanging around, sort of hanging down from a different reality. We've got, maybe it's just rain coming in. Rainy surface. Yeah. I'm really liking this. Even to the different textures that exist in there when you're joining the colors together. Seems like if I just add some more water, I can get it to, you know, and gives it kind of like this, like I know, oh no, there he is. It's like I have vertigo, so the table seems to be moving forward. I wonder if that means I'm going to have a migraine when I wake up, but I don't want a migraine tomorrow. Not on my one fun day a month. There we are. It's different. Hanging in there. It's almost like I don't know, it reminds me of something, of a story that somebody gave me a graphic novel for that I never read. Was that like Ringworld? And because this is acrylics down there and I'm painting over the acrylics with watercolor, the watercolor is not adhering onto the watercolors at all. And maybe it's like the background is not really, it's kind of sky, but maybe it's not. Maybe it's inside. Maybe this is inside the hollow earth, and it is a coloration, or inside a spaceship. Things are growing in all different directions in this spaceship. What do you think? You know, this is pretty much all I'm gonna do on it for tonight, I think. Maybe we'll do like a glazing of these colors down in here. seeing how maybe it works or doesn't work, and you got like some water. Looks pretty electric there. Yeah. Yeah. Well, it's fine. It's what it is. Get this brown, mix it in there. With this burnt sienna. Mixing. Hello, Only Dream. Welcome. Welcome. How was your evening? Or is it daytime or nighttime? It's just an abstract piece. I think I'm pretty much done for this coat. Been working on this about 50 minutes. And it's 999 Show. Like and sub if you like my content. Doing art tonight, art tomorrow night. And then on Sunday afternoon, 12:21, in my after church chat, I'm just going to do talk. I'm going to be talking about things, that science fiction, Star Trek. I don't know, for maybe like 20 minutes, half hour, maybe a little longer. I don't know. But, you know, this is my abstract hanged man. You can look at it here, this tarot art. And there's a resemblance. But I've kind of combined, make some different scenes. It's really kindergarten-y art. That's what we got going on here. I do have another channel. It's called Tools of Fortune. And it is all tarot, all divination. And that's what that other channel is all about. When I hit the 50 sub mark, then I'm going to start doing live streams and so forth. But right now, I'm not there yet. It's a brand new channel. And anyways, that's all I got for you guys. Thank you very much for your support. Thank you, Only Dream. Thank you, Moon Scarab. Thank you, Billy No Neck. And everyone else who popped in to say hello. Thank you very much and have a great night. Blessings and peace to you. Bye-bye.